I mean, it's a big question because Daniel Andrews' Victoria seems to be running a completely different show to what's happening in McGowan's Western Australia and Palaszczuk's Queensland and Berejiklian's New South Wales. Everything seems to be all a little different in different parts of Australia. Now, Scott Morrison's got to manage all of this, Bronwyn. This is not an easy thing to manage. The various egos of the various premiers is never easy. Palaszczuk likes to blame Canberra for everything, but she's not put a hand in her pocket for anything. So far, it's all been Canberra largesse that she's been rebadging.
Quite so, but I think one thing that's very interesting is that leak tape today, where we've heard her talking to Labor Party people saying, well, we're not going to open the schools because if anyone gets the virus, they won't blame Morrison, they'll blame me. And she has an election coming up.
It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
But what's she going to do? Keep all the kids locked down in their homes until October and the election's over, is she? I mean, you can't run a state. If you are the Premier, you've got to take responsibility. Now, we are a federation, and it is possible for things to be done differently in different states. For instance, I lamented the fact that we instituted a national curriculum, because when we had different curriculums in different states, at least somebody had a chance of getting it right. When we went to the national curriculum, it was all dumbed down to the lowest common denominator. So there certainly is, I think, federations are a good system. But what we're seeing is the dictatorial powers. Now, in the Socialist Republic of Victoria, where you've got this very much different attitude, and of course the Teachers' Federation is calling the shots certainly for Victoria, New South Wales and Queensland. They seem to have got it right in South Australia. And the premiers have to stand up to it. They have to be held responsible. So I found Palaszczuk's statement that she'd be held responsible was really quite pathetic. If you can't do the job as the leader of your state, then let somebody else do it.
Well, Carol Lee, the distressing part for Annastacia Palaszczuk is that she... Well, hang on a second. I was just going to say to Carol Lee that the interesting or distressing part about it is that Annastacia Palaszczuk had a phone hookup with her caucus on Tuesday night. This leak came out of her caucus that she said, I don't want to have a child get ill because I'll get blamed for it. They won't be blaming Scott Morrison. So she's worried about her popularity, but that was a leak from caucus. She's got a problem. She's got a real problem.
Well, she sure has. And look, I think that there would be every Premier and the Prime Minister that if we suddenly get a second wave of this virus, they will all be worried that they will be blamed. But the bottom line is someone needs to bite the bullet and open up Australia and get our business and our economy moving again. As Bronwyn just said, you know, we cannot afford to let this go on any longer. And I know that people need to be careful. I know there have been some dreadful clusters in nursing homes. And as I said before, one death is one death too many. But, you know, here in Western Australia, no new cases for 3 days. And as Malcolm has said, it should be the people that are infected that are quarantined, not the majority, because we still do not know. I mean, we've got cafes that are able to sell takeaway coffees. In my view, there would be nothing wrong if those cafes, who can be small restaurants, are able to take bookings and open and still maintain the social distancing of 4 square metres. And they know that they might get 100 people seated in their restaurant that can start making some money and getting their business going. Because as we know, most small businesses in Australia are, you know, that people have mortgaged their properties in order to do this. It's all very well, even the Prime Minister saying we'll just go into hibernation. What is going to be at the end of this period for these people to be able to make their repayments, no matter what it is? At some point, they're going to have to make repayments because they've got financial obligations everywhere. And there are people that are just waiting to be able to do things and help them. And again, we've got another week coming up.